Up next, Peter Schiff is the author of Crash Proof, How to Profit from the Coming Economic Collapse. So, Peter, first off, I want you to respond to what the state senator had to say about maybe some federal money going to this problem. What do you think?
Well, I think that's just going to make the situation worse. And first of all, the problem is these people who own subprime mortgages, most of them were not preyed upon victims. They actively sought those mortgages out. It was the only way that they can afford to pay inflated home prices. That's basically the problem. Home prices in the bubble got too high, and they're going to collapse.
All right, so I know you say we're too late to do anything at all about it. We got to just bring on the recession. People have to, lose their houses en masse for this to cycle through the system. That's your solution?
Well, it's not, not a solution. This is the problem. I mean, people overpaid for houses. They bought houses that they couldn't afford. They deliberately committed to make payments on mortgages they couldn't afford because they were speculating on housing price appreciation. But no one's going to be homeless. There's plenty of vacant houses out there to rent.
I think people are already homeless. No. We're hearing from people who have lost their homes and they're very unhappy. Let me get you to how you think this is going to work out, because you actually forecast all of this in your book.
That's true.
You said ahead of time that there was going to be a credit crunch that was going to explode this economy. And now, right now, you are one of the few folks saying we're headed for recession. How long? How deep?
Well, it's going to be substantial, because remember, our economy, ever since the bursting of the dot-com bubble, has been based on excessive consumer spending. And that's all been a function of these artificially high real estate prices and temporarily low mortgage payments. It freed up a lot of extra consumption. People thought they had a lot of wealth. A lot of people, were wrong. They thought a house that you live in was an investment. They expected it to appreciate. And they made a lot of spending decisions and saving decisions based on the belief that their house would appreciate.
What happens? How long does it take to work its way through the system? What are the baby steps that will bring us out of it?
Well, ultimately the market is going to purge all these lax lending standards out of the system. We're going to go back to people needing a 20% down payment, people needing a fixed rate mortgage, but none of this can happen without housing prices collapsing. So even people who are prime borrowers, who have nothing to do with subprime, they're still going to see the value of their house collapse, and all the equity that they thought they've accumulated over the past 7 or 8 years, it's all going to vanish.
The do-nothing approach from government, isn't that what we've had for the last several years?
Remember, this is all the byproduct of what Alan Greenspan did. First, he blew up the bubble in the technology stocks, and then he blew up the housing bubble. I mean, he spiked the punch bowl. All Wall Street did was serve it up. But they're the ones that came up with the dot-coms. They came up with these securitized mortgage products. But it's all a function of the Fed and the excessive creation of money.
You have questions, we have answers. Real solutions to your credit crunch questions are coming up next.